On September 2nd, 2022, a legendary reporter was silenced forever. Jeff German had spent his life exposing secrets in Las Vegas. But his final investigation, it didn't just ruin a career, it ended in blood. But here is the part that terrified an entire city. The man accused of holding the knife wasn't a gangster. He was an elected official. Jeff German is more than just a byline in the Las Vegas Review-Journal. He is a veteran investigative reporter, fearless, persistent. In May of 2022, Jeff turns his attention to a man named Robert Tells. Tells is the Clark County Public Administrator. Jeff publishes a series of articles detailing a nightmare in Tells's office. He reports on allegations of a hostile work environment, bullying, chaos. The impact is immediate. By June, Robert Tells loses his bid for re-election. His political career is over. Tells is angry. He blames Jeff, and for months, that anger simmers beneath the surface. Until September. Jeff German is found stabbed to death outside his own home. The police move fast, and they find surveillance footage that chills the blood. The camera captures 3 key details. First, a suspect wearing a bright orange long-sleeve shirt. Second, a wide-brimmed hat obscuring the face. And third, a maroon GMC Yukon Denali. And here is where the investigation takes a dark turn. That maroon SUV looked exactly like the one registered to Robert Tells. The Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, the LVMPD, brings Tells in. They search his house. They collect evidence. But they find something that screams guilty. It wasn't just the car. It wasn't just the clothes. Robert Tells's DNA was found under Jeff German's fingernails. Jeff fought for his life, and in doing so, he marked his killer. On October 20th, 2022, a grand jury indicts Tells for first-degree murder. The trial finally begins on August 12th, 2024, and it was a circus. Tells went through 3 different attorneys, hired them, fired them. For a while, he even represented himself. Finally, he retained defense attorney Robert Draskovich. But when the trial started, Tells made a choice that shocked the courtroom. He took the witness stand. But pay close attention to this detail. He wasn't just questioned by his lawyer. He spoke in a narrative style. This is unusual. It allowed him to speak freely to the jury without interruption. And what he said was absolutely wild. Tells looked at the jury and denied everything. He claimed Jeff German was killed by a, quote, professional hitman, end quote. He claimed he was being framed. But it gets deeper. Tells spun a web of conspiracy. He accused the police. He accused the forensics lab. He even accused the prosecutor of being in on it. He claimed state actors had planted the evidence to destroy him. For nearly 3 hours, Tells told his story. He painted himself as the victim of a massive government plot. But then, it was the state's turn. Prosecutor Christopher Hamner stood up for cross-examination. He didn't yell. He simply confronted Tells with the reality he tried to ignore. The photos, the timeline, the DNA. Hamner took Tells's theory of a professional hitman and dismantled it piece by piece, exposing the absurdity of a conspiracy that would require dozens of people to stay silent. Robert Tells maintained his innocence to the bitter end. He wanted the jury to believe that the entire system was rigged against him. But the evidence told a simpler, more tragic story. A story of ego, revenge, and a reporter who did his job too well. Jeff German died telling the truth. And in the end, the evidence spoke the truth for him.
And underneath your couch is a shoe and a chopped up shoe, right?
Right.
Okay. That's the gray Nike, correct?
Here, so yes, sir.
Publishing 228. That's what it looks like, correct?
Yes, sir.
It's gray in color, correct?
Yes.
It is a Nike brand, correct?
Yes, sir.
It has a black swoosh, correct?
Yes, sir.
It has 4 horizontal or at least vertical bars in the middle of that shoe, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. You would agree with me. That's the shoe that the killer was wearing, correct?
I don't know that that's the case.
You don't know? Well, it sure looks a heck of a lot like it, right?
Yes, it could be the same model, but it could be a different size.
Sure. Let's just look at it.
I don't disagree that it's the same model.
Right. It's the exact same type of shoe, right?
Right.
Okay. So we're not in dispute about it. We can agree on that, right?
Right. Yes, sir.
And your DNA is in those shoes that are found in your house, correct?
I don't know that to be the case.
Okay, but that's the whole thing of it's a setup and I think the DNA people are framing me. Something along those lines, right?
Whether it's them or someone else?
You've heard the results. The results say that your DNA is in that shoe. I mean, we did hear that, correct?
That is what we heard.
Okay. And you just think it's just another part of the conspiracy to somehow get your DNA into those shoes.
So I believe that there are officers who, when they think that a fellow officer needs help plugging holes in the case, that they're willing to do what they have to.
Okay. All right. But before we move on, I gotta ask you this too. So like if Metro's really, you think Metro's framing you for that?
As I said before, I think that we've got some officers who are overzealous and who've decided to help Jappy plug holes in his case,
Sure.
not knowing what his relationship was with Compass Realty.
Here's I
Object, sir. If you'd be allowed to answer the question.
okay.
The next question, please.
Sir, I got a question for you. The Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department wanted to frame you. Why didn't they put the murder weapon in your house?
I think that maybe, I don't know. I mean, it's a good question. I mean,
Great question, because if the murder weapon that had Gehrman's DNA in was inside your house, wouldn't that be an even better case?
yeah, but at the same time, I think
But it's not there, is it?
no,
No, it's not. Even though, according to you, they control everything, they don't put the murder weapon on you?
Mhm.
Does
Well-
that make any sense?
I think it does.
Okay. How about this? If Compass Realty wants to kill you, why don't they encourage Metro like, we'd really like you to put the murder weapon in there? Why didn't they do something like that?
I don't know.
That seems really odd that the most significant thing is not in your house. Correct?
I think what's odd is that 5 days after the murder, that supposedly there was a shoe
So you
and
have my
also a
question.
hat in my house.
So the answer to my question, the most significant piece of evidence, the murder weapon, is not in your house despite your theory you've been framed.
That's correct, sir.
Let's talk about this. We've seen the picture of the killer. What's the most notable thing, by far the most notable thing on the killer's person?
It's either the hat or the shirt.
It's the shirt, right?
Mhm.
And that shirt is not in your house, is it?
No.
If Metro or Compass or Rita or Cliff all wanted to frame you, why didn't they put the bright orange coat in your house?
I couldn't speak to that. All I can tell you
Doesn't
is,
that sound not very professional if they're trying to set you up?
I don't know, maybe for plausibility's sake, they put half.
Oh, they want to dial it back.
I don't know.
Okay. Here's another thing. Why don't they cover your car in Gehrman's DNA? Why did they do that?
Because they didn't have access to the car until the day that Mr. Mogg took photos.
They have, I mean, they control everything. They take it to their CSI garage and they rub it full of DNA. Why is there no DNA of Gehrman in your car? And if they want to frame you, why isn't it there? Do you have an answer for that?
Sir, I don't know.
Okay. But one of the things that we do know is that prior to your arrest, you do in fact wash that car, correct?
The exterior only.
You still wash it, correct?
Oh, yes.
And your testimony to this jury was, after Rita told me about the tweets about the car that I found so strikingly similar, I went out and washed my car. You told them that on direct. Isn't that correct?
No, sir.
I meant Roberta. After Roberta told you, gosh, that looks just like your car, you read John R. Custer's tweet, you went out and that prompted you to start washing the Yukon.
No.
That's not your testimony.
No. I said that I washed all three vehicles.
Great. Including your Yukon.
Yes.
Right. Because you'd agree if you only wash one of them, that might look a little suspicious, right?
I don't know that I was planning things to be suspicious or not suspicious, sir.
Okay. But let's just be clear. You would agree with me. Washing things can make evidence go away. Isn't that right?
I would think DNA evidence would be inside of a vehicle, not on the outside, sir.
Sir, you'd be surprised.
Okay.
But that's not.
I guess I would be surprised then.
My question is this. Washing things can make evidence go away, correct?
Could it possibly? Yes.
Thank you.
The prosecutor didn't scream. He didn't pound the table. He just asked one simple question that destroyed the defendant's entire story. Robert Tells claimed he was the victim of a massive conspiracy. But here is the question that made the whole room go silent. If they were smart enough to frame you, why were they so bad at it? In a Nevada courtroom, the rules of cross-examination are strict. Under state law, the prosecutor is usually limited to what the witness already talked about. But because Tells spoke for hours in a narrative style about being framed, he opened the door wide, Prosecutor Christopher Hamner stepped right through it. Tells had spun a wild theory. He claimed a local realty company, the police, and the DNA lab were all working together to ruin him. He said they planted the evidence. But Hamner noticed something odd about this so-called master plan. He looked at Tells and asked, quote, "If they are willing to kill Mr. German and frame you for it, why not just put the murder weapon in your house?" End quote. Let that sink in for a moment. Hamner broke down the logic of the conspiracy, and he used the rule of three to show how absurd it was. First, if they planted the cut-up shoe found in Tells's house, why not plant the matching blood? Second, if they had the power to plant DNA under the victim's fingernails, why leave it to chance? And third, the biggest missing piece. The bright orange shirt. Surveillance footage clearly showed the killer wearing a bright orange long-sleeve shirt and a wide, brimmed hat. Hamner pressed Tells hard on this. If these conspirators wanted to lock him away forever, why didn't they plant that orange shirt in his closet? Why didn't they plant the knife? Hamner's strategy was brilliant in its simplicity. He didn't need to prove Tells was lying. He just had to show that Tells's version of the truth was impossible. He forced Tells to admit that for his story to be true, the conspirators had to be criminal masterminds 1 minute and completely incompetent the next. Tells tried to explain it away. He suggested maybe they tried to plant more evidence but failed. But the jury could see the cracks forming. By the time Hamner was finished, the conspiracy theory didn't look like a defense. It looked like what it really was, a desperate attempt to escape the consequences of a brutal crime.
Down the path of what's in your phone. We're going to be publishing Exhibit 354. If we could just cue over for a second to the overhead. This is this extraction report that has a lot of images regarding Google Maps in your phone. Do you remember hearing testimony about this?
That's what I heard.
Okay. And the date on this is August 12th of 2022. Isn't that correct? That's when these files appear. Is that right?
That's when it purports to appear.
Sir, you would agree with me. You don't actually have to go to Bronze Circle to get Google Maps to generate these images, correct? All you have to do is go to the website. Isn't that right?
For any location, sure. Yes.
Sure. And this is what? About 2 to 3 weeks before Mr. Garman is killed?
If we can trust the date, yes.
All right. So, sir, let's... I'm opening the folder that says Bronze Circle. If we could cue over, please. That's Jeff Garman's house, correct?
I have come to learn that it is his house.
That's a great point. You've come to learn that. Because prior to this all happening, you had never been over to the house, correct? You'd have no reason to be over at that house, correct?
That is absolutely correct.
You don't even know where he lives, because I'm sure Mr. Garman didn't give you his personal address.
That is absolutely correct.
And yet the weird thing is, when we go through these images, when we start getting to like the Google Maps data, like that's his house, right?
It looks like that is the house.
Yeah. Same thing. That's his house, right?
It appears to be.
Like if we look over here in the back, that's literally the very spot where Mr. Garman breathes his last breath. Isn't that right?
Checking out calculation.
That's the very last spot that we see Mr. Garman from that body cam, right? He's lying right over there.
It looks like a similar area.
Similar. It's the area, isn't it?
If you say so, sure.
So you don't believe that's the spot?
I mean, it looks like the house, so I would think.
How about there? Isn't that where Mr. Garman was found by the police?
And I would think likely so.
And the very spot that his body is lying is inside your phone.
That is very strange. I mean, how does someone plan to have a victim in a particular area at their home? That's, again.
So you would agree with me that if you were planning to kill someone at their house, it might be a good idea to get a lay of the land, right?
I've never plotted to kill anyone.
Well, I didn't say you. I'm just talking hypothetically. You would agree with me that if you were planning to kill someone, it might be a good idea to get a lay of the land, correct?
Object to that question.
We will take an answer.
Let me ask you that question one more time. You'd agree with me If you're planning on killing someone, it's a good idea to get the lay of the land, right?
I don't know. I don't know what the circumstances are. I don't know what you're talking about as far as where you want to, do this deed or whatever.
Mr. Tellis, if you wanted, let's do it. You don't want to answer the question. We'll do it another way.
Again, I object with character. That's fiction.
Mr. Tellis, if you're planning on doing something, you want to prepare for it, correct?
It depends on what you're planning to do.
Okay. How about your work? As a public administrator, did you prepare every day to go to work to be competent at what you're doing?
Yes.
Did you do that because it's important to do the job correctly?
Yes, sir.
And if the stakes are really big, you want to make sure you're super prepared?
Yes, sir.
Okay. There's over 100 images of Bronze Circle neighborhood in your house, correct? In your phone. Isn't that right?
I don't know that they are, sir.
Okay. Well, then let's start clicking.
Plus two, again, I wouldn't use my card. It's
not my question. My question is, this is contained in your phone, right, sir?
I don't believe so.
Okay, you don't believe so?
If it is in there, I didn't put it there, sir.
Okay. So the answer is it's there, but you didn't put it there, correct?
Again, I do not know that it's there, and I certainly did not put it there.
Okay, so we're just okay, sir. You did.
You're asking me to testify something that I can't tell you is true.
Right. But you did hear the testimony of someone coming and said, I looked in his phone and that stuff was there, correct?
That's what they said.
It's the same phone that your expert looked at, correct? To extract Celebrite data from, right? It's the exact same phone, correct?
Sure.
Did you ever hear Mr. Aguero ever say that your phone was compromised in any way? Did you ever hear that from him?
We never asked him that question.
Okay, but he didn't say it, did he?
The question was never asked.
Right. He looked at your data, he prepared a report, and alerted no one to any problems with your phone, correct?
I don't know.
I have to object to. You would not call upon him to review the phone, review the Celebrite extractions from the phone. So I was checking his final question.
We can move on. You heard from Matt Hovanec from the DFL department. He testified that there weren't any issues with this phone, correct? When he looked at data that came from, correct?
He said that, I guess they try not to modify contents of things, but he didn't say that it was impossible.
Okay. Here, well, we can do this too. You got up on direct examination and you went through message by message by message, and you didn't complain about any of the messages that were on September 2nd, correct?
I dispute.
As to complain.
Sure. You offered testimony to this jury about the timeline, correct?
Yes.
You went text by text and phone call by phone call, and you explained things, right?
Right.
At no point did you say, oh, there's a problem here, correct?
Correct.
You had no problem with that information, did you?
Right.
Okay. Sir, do you find it a little bit strange that when you find information that's helpful for you in your phone, you don't think there's a problem with it, but when there's damaging evidence in your phone, you believe maybe it's been hacked or compromised?
I do think that if someone was trying to frame me, that obviously they would leave the content that I made on the phone as well as whatever they decided to put on there. Yes.
And as we see here, like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different houses are being photographed, correct?
If that is truly what was on my phone, then supposedly sure.
Okay. Here's a good example. In this image, there's a security camera being focused on in the image, correct?
That's what it appears to be, which brings up a question that I would have.
There's no question pending, and you're going to get a chance on redirect. You'll be able to say whatever you need to say. But let's be clear. There's an image that isolates on a security camera for the next door neighbor, Mr. Garriman. It's right there, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. There's one right there.
And here was something I remember you told me about. When you started out, what was your first job again?
IT.
Mm-hmm. You've got a technical background, correct?
Right.
I believe even on direct examination, you described yourself as a techie, correct?
Absolutely, yes.
So you know your way around a computer, right?
Right.
Fair to say you know your way around different software, correct?
Right.
Fair to say you know your way around a cell phone, right?
Right.
You certainly know how to use Google Maps, right?
I think a lot of people do.
Right. Anyone could use that, correct?
Right.
And you would consider yourself a fairly thorough person in your work as a public administrator, right?
More thorough than to do something like this? Sure.
You consider yourself detail-oriented?
I do.
Okay. Can we cue over for 1 second to the overhead? There's over 132 images in your phone focusing on that. Would you say that's a lot of detail?
If that was on my phone, I guess I would say yes.
Okay. And then let's talk about the Popeyes thing, publishing 364. Do you remember these images?
Yes.
Okay.
I remember them being presented as being allegedly on my phone.
Right. The testimony was it was on your phone. You just don't believe you had anything to do with it, correct?
Again, I don't know that they were ever on my phone. I know that I did not take those photos.
Okay, so you're just denying what you heard.
I am saying that whatever the testimony is, that it could have been placed on my phone, or who knows.
The testimony was it was found on your phone, correct?
It was allegedly found on an image of my phone.
In the digital age, your phone is your biggest enemy. It knows where you go. It knows what you see. And in the case of Robert Tells, it knew exactly who he was hunting. Prosecutor Hamner shifted the focus to a specific piece of digital evidence that was devastating for the defense. He displayed a series of photographs found on Tells's personal phone. These weren't random pictures. They were images of Jeff German's home. Now, let me break down why this matters legally. Under Section 200.030 of the Nevada Revised Statutes, the state has to prove 3 specific things to get a conviction for first-degree murder. The killing must be willful, deliberate, and premeditated. Premeditated. That is the key word. It means you didn't just snap in the heat of the moment. It means you planned it. The prosecution used these photos to paint a chilling picture of surveillance. They argued that Tells didn't just stumble upon Jeff German. He hunted him. He looked up where he lived. He saved the images. This was clear evidence of forethought, not impulse. But when Hamner confronted him with the photos, Tells didn't buckle. He doubled down on his conspiracy theory. He looked at the evidence on his own screen and claimed, quote, "I did not put those on my phone," end quote. Think about what he is asking the jury to believe here. He is suggesting that the mysterious conspirators didn't just plant DNA or a shoe. He is suggesting they somehow accessed his personal, password-protected device and uploaded photos of the victim's house, all without him noticing. Hamner didn't fight him on it. He didn't scream. He simply let the absurdity of the statement hang in the air. By refusing to admit even the most obvious facts, Tells wasn't saving himself. He was reinforcing the state's theory. This was a man who had calculated every step of the murder, and now he was trying to calculate his way out of it.
You talked about being detailed-oriented. You would agree this is numerous images from the same spot, correct?
It appears so.
And if we kind of look, and I just can't see because of the monitor. I mean, we're looking at, that's a sedan, correct?
Yes.
Sedan, correct. Well, it's like a minivan, but it's gray in
Like a
color, right?
crossover.
And that's gray in color, right?
Sure.
And that's a truck. It's kind of a whitish gray, right?
Mhm.
Another gray car, correct?
Sure.
Another gray sedan, correct?
Mhm.
This one's a Honda, right?
Sure.
Or maybe that's not a Honda. I don't want to misspeak. That might be a Kia.
It looks like a Honda,
Okay, it's a Honda.
I think, or unless it's a Hyundai.
Or a Hyundai. I'm not
know.
sure. It kind of looks like an H. We got an SUV here, but there's a lot of images here, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And according to this report, if we can cue over, got 101, correct?
That's what it alleges.
That's a lot of photos, correct?
It would be.
It looks like surveillance, doesn't it?
It looks like a stupid way to do surveillance.
Right. Looks kind of amateurish, doesn't it?
Right.
Not professional.
Right. I wouldn't see how that makes sense.
And then, sir, another thing located in your phone were these. Can we cue over to the overhead? Sir, what are we looking at here?
Looks like it's a identification of a vehicle that is owned by Mr. German.
It's a Honda, right?
Yes, sir.
And we know from the photographs earlier, his Honda is gray, correct? Photos.
I don't remember. I wasn't paying attention to the color with the earlier testimony.
You
Sorry.
have no reason to dispute me if I told you that the color of the car was gray, correct?
I don't, sir.
Okay. And we saw in those images, lots of gray cars were getting snatched, correct?
Yeah, I saw a black one and a white one, but yes.
And you know what that program that's pulling up that information is, don't you?
That I do, yes.
That's IDI Core, correct?
Right.
That is proprietary software that is in fact used by the Public Administration's Office, correct?
Yes, sir, it is.
It gives the person at the Public Administration's Office the ability to look up personally identifying information about people, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And we can see here that Jeffrey Guerin is being looked up on IDI Core, correct?
What I remember correctly looking at this was it was looked up by address.
Well, that's just one report, sir. Let's look at this result. We can see
What's the search term?
There's no question pending, sir.
Okay.
Take a look at registrants. What's the registrant?
Again, it's Jeffrey M. Gurman.
Right. And if we look down, what's the first address associated with this?
P.O. Box.
Okay. And then when you go to the next entry, what's the address associated with Mr. Guerin?
7216. It's the second one related to Mr. Gurman. There's a first one related to Mr. Gurman. That's the P.O. Box, which is current. The second one is 7216 Bronze Circle, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89. I can't read this.
Mr. Tellis, that's where Mr. Guerin lived, correct?
Yes, sir.
That's where he was murdered, correct?
Yes, sir.
And this image of his personal information and his home address is located inside your phone.
Again, I don't know that it is.
Okay, so we're just, again, we don't have to do the dance, but you're just not accepting the testimony that was located on your phone.
That is correct.
Okay. All right. But you'd agree with me that from just that bottom there, that looks like a desktop monitor, a Dell desktop monitor, correct?
Correct.
And again, this has more information about Mr. Guerin's cars, correct?
Yes, sir.
This is IDI Core, correct?
Right.
Software that is in your office, correct?
The office that Mr. Jappy visited, yes.
Okay. This is more IDI Core images, correct?
Appears so, yes, sir.
Let me just come out and ask you. This is your desk, isn't it?
It probably is.
Let me ask you this. During your official duties as the public administrator, you didn't have like a case with Mr. Guerin at all, right?
No, sir, I didn't. And what was the search term to find that?
Well, one of the search terms was 7216 Bronze Circle, correct?
Can you show that to me?
Sure. 7216 Bronze. I'll pick you over to the overhead. Can everybody see that? So you can see that, right?
Yes, sir, I can.
And the date, the created time is 8/23/2022 at 6:05 p.m., correct?
Yes, that's what it reports to me.
Okay. And that was a weekday, wasn't it?
I'm sure it was because,
And there's one more thing. This wasn't converted into UTC time. So if we subtract 7 hours, that's at 11:05 a.m. in the morning on 8/23, correct?
And again, I don't know if this document's been modified by a PDF viewer or not, but it purports to be of that day.
Do you recall the testimony? Well, no. You recall the testimony of Matt Hovanich, which said this was not converted, and when you convert it, this search was conducted at 11 o'clock in the morning, correct? You recall him saying, I'm not asking if you agree with it, do you recall it being said?
I know that I didn't do the search, so I couldn't tell you definitively.
So I'd like you to focus on my question. Do you recall Mr. Hovanich saying that here in court?
That's what he said.
Okay. And just to be clear, publishing 351, there it is. That's a weekday. That's a Tuesday, correct?
Yes, sir.
Did you typically have random people coming into your office using your desktop software?
Again, that could have been modified in a number of ways. Sir.
That's not my question. My question is, as public administrator, did you allow people to go into your office in the middle of the day and manipulate and use your computer?
I didn't allow it, but that's not to say that it didn't happen, sir.
So the answer is you had an edict that said you're not allowed to do this, correct?
If I wasn't around or whatever, I don't know.
I mean, you would hope as the head of the department, they would have at least not used your computer, right?
I would have hoped, but you'd be surprised what happened in that office.
Okay. Right, because of the conspiracy?
But the prosecution had one final card to play, and it was devastating. Prosecutor Hamner revealed another set of photos found on Tells's phone. These weren't pictures of the outside world. They were pictures of a computer screen sitting on Tells's own desk. The screen showed proprietary software, the kind used by the public administrator's office to access private data on county residents. And right there, in black and white, were details about Jeff German's vehicle and his home address. Hamner pointed to a specific search term visible in the photo, 7216 Bronze. That was a partial match for Jeff German's home address. The timestamp showed the search happened around 11 a.m. on a weekday. This wasn't a midnight hack by a mysterious conspirator. This was done during office hours at Tells's desk. Yet, even when staring at a photo of his own computer, taken with his own phone, Tells refused to break. He maintained he didn't run the search. He claimed he wasn't the one looking for the victim. But by this point, the jury had seen enough. On August 28, 2024, the trial came to an end. The jury deliberated. The courtroom went quiet. And then, the verdict came down guilty. First, degree murder with a deadly weapon. The jury sentenced him to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 20 years. But the story didn't end there. Judge Michelle Livet had the final say on sentencing enhancements, and she did not hold back. She cited 3 specific factors. First, the victim was over the age of 60. Second, the use of a deadly weapon. And third, the fact that Tells was, quote, lying in wait, end quote, to ambush his victim. Judge Livet exercised her authority to the fullest extent. She added 8 years to his minimum sentence, the maximum amount allowed by law. That means Robert Tells will not even be eligible to ask for parole for a total of 28 years. Tells continues to fight. On August 26, 2025, he filed an appeal with the Nevada Supreme Court asking them to overturn his conviction. As of today, that appeal is still pending. This case serves as a brutal lesson in the realities of the courtroom. The Supreme Court guarantees every defendant the right to take the stand. It is a fundamental constitutional right. But as we saw with Robert Tells, it is also a strategic minefield. When a defendant testifies, they open the door to cross-examination. They invite prosecutors like Christopher Hamner to pick apart every inconsistency, every stutter, and every illogical claim. Tells wanted to tell his story, but in doing so, he gave the state the ammunition they needed to lock him away. Defense attorneys often warn their clients that the desire to explain yourself can be dangerous. And in this case, that danger became a reality. If there is a case or a specific courtroom interaction you want us to cover next, let us know in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and share this video so we can foster a more informed society.